Tommy Yarrish here in Indianapolis at the Combine, joined now by new Cowboys wide receivers coach Junior Adams. Junior, thanks for making some time. I know it's a busy week. We'll start with this. It's only been a couple of weeks, but making the jump from the collegiate level at Oregon now to the NFL, what's that jump been like for you here these last couple of weeks as you've gotten acclimated?
It's been good. Obviously, working with Shadi and Clayton and the rest of that offensive staff, they made the transition smooth and easy for me. And it's been really cool just to get to know those guys. And I had a great time at Oregon. I worked for a good guy by the name of Dan Lanning, who's been awesome. He's like a brother to me, and I appreciated my time there. And I'm just excited to be part of this Cowboy family.
And a big part of the early times here in your Cowboy family is events like these at the Combine. From your perspective, coming fresh out of college, you have seen a lot of these prospects play. You've coached some of them, you've coached against them, and now you have to watch them here at the Combine and you see them in interview settings. What kind of perspective do you feel that you bring being so fresh out of the gates and being so familiar with some of these guys?
Yeah, well, the cool part is like you said, I'm very familiar with a lot of these guys, especially at the receiver position. I mean, like when I'm just walking through the hallways here going to do the informals and the formals, I'm seeing some of these guys that I recruited and had good relationships with, and some of them I have had to meet with. So it's actually pretty cool. It actually makes it my first time a little again, the transition a little bit more smoother and a little more comfortable.
You mentioned the recruiting aspect. I think it's interesting to examine, at the high school level when you're recruiting these guys to come play for you, you've got to sell your program. You've got to sell their fit. Mm-hmm. Now it's kind of the inverse where they're here at the Combine trying to sell themselves into your scheme and your fit. How have you tied in what you learn in recruiting or the skills that you use to recruit these players to kind of look and see in these interview settings and see what they can bring to you?
Well, I will say there's not too much difference, right? Like even when you're recruiting in college, it's you still get to know them. You still want to connect with them. You're still asking similar questions that you're asking these draft prospects as well, to get to know them and dive into their why and how much they know football, and still getting to know them and connect.
I know you haven't coached a game or practiced with the Cowboys yet in terms of seeing your wide receiver room guys like CD, but in watching film, when you compare your time at Oregon and the guys you watched there to now the NFL level, what are some of the differences that you're realizing early on in terms of how the game is played in college and at the professional level?
Every play is a play, and each play is its own entity. And when it comes to just the overall player, I mean, the game is a lot faster, right? And the scheme is a little bit not taken away from college, but it's a little bit more detailed. You have a lot more time in your hand just to do football and just focus on football and not have to do the recruiting part of it. So that transition has been smooth. Obviously, every day is new for me, which is awesome, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Every day is new for you, and last one here for you, for Brian Schottenheimer, it's new in terms of being in the setting as the head coach of an NFL team. What have you noticed from him early on? I know this is your first Combine, too, in terms of just how he's leading this team, how he's leading your coaching staff in interviews, player evaluation, and everything.
First things first, when it comes to Shadi, what jumps out to me is just the type of person he is. He's a really good person. He's super positive. He's really good with his words and how he's communicating. And to me, those are some really big, important pieces to being a successful head coach. And he's all about connecting. He's all about the people.
Junior Adams, new wide receivers coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Thanks so much, Junior.
Thank you.